Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Cape Rugby TV, where on a weekly basis we take a look to see what's happening in the world of club rugby and of course Western Province rugby, as so many of the club players get into the senior circles. Big thanks of course to our partners on board with us, Score Energy Drinks. As you know, you can of course win a case of Score Energy Drinks as well as a case of bashes during the course of the show, so stick around, we'll tell you more about that a little bit later on how to do that. And of course MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Folks, we'll be catching up with Danelle Rousseau from Western Province Women's side in a second or so. We'll also be catching up this week with Phil Cronje, the head coach for Hamilton's Rugby Football Club. Terence Greff is the captain of Blake's Rugby Football Club, and they tell us a little bit more about what they're doing behind the scenes. We'll of course take a look at the under-20s. The under-20s are back in training, and this follows their return from the national setup, and we'll catch up with Faisal Felton from Western Province Rugby to tell us a little bit more about what's happening behind the scenes at Western Province. Folks, right, on the line with me now, Danelle Rousseau, DHL Western Province Rugby team manager. Danelle, how are things there with you?
Good evening, JP. It's very well. It's actually great. I hope things are great on your side as well.
Yep, I suppose it's difficult at the moment for everybody, the way that the position that the country is, the world is in right now. But we've been saying that for 18 months now, and we're doing our best to keep everybody connected. And of course, one of the highlights for everybody is your performance so far this season. 10 weeks, Danelle. You guys must be exhausted, or is it not?
Yeah, it is. It's mixed emotions, I think, at the moment. You know, both mind, body, and soul. We are super grateful that we are heading into the final. I mean, 10 weeks behind us, 10 out of 10. It's been challenging. It's been very challenging, but at the same time, it's been a great opportunity. You know, amongst everything that's been going on, as you said. So yeah, but if we focus on the positive thing, we are preparing. We are at the draw board doing the final preparations for the upcoming final this Friday.
Yeah.
Super stoked that it's a home final. So yeah.
Let's go back a few months, Danelle. You know, we're probably looking now 6 months ago, odd that you guys started getting on the field from a practice point of view. You walked quite a hard road in terms of having that bigger squad. Playing a few chuckers, starting to get the process going, and from there of course eventually you trimmed the squad, and then it was game day, so to speak. And if I remember correctly, the first game was against Boerland. At that stage, did you think that the competition was going to, I mean, I want to say that the competition has been easy for you, obviously it hasn't, but I mean, if you look at some of those matches that you played, and every match was a big challenge.
Definitely. I mean, I'm sitting here, I've got goosebumps. I mean, I think back to the 8th of May when this competition started. Never in my wildest dreams that I ever think that we would be in the seat, sitting in the seat that we're sitting in. Literally, it might have seemed easy for people watching the game, but every single game was like a final. First of all, we never knew if we would get another opportunity after that match. So we treated every game as a final. Yeah. And, you know, some of the games were extremely challenging. I mean, we're sitting with, there wasn't a game that was just like a run over. I mean, every game, the first half was like nail biting, and then the players came back. And every single team that we played against had a specific dynamic that we had to identify on the day, on the field, and we had to overcome that. And like I said before, I think I just can just give all the credit to the players and the management and the coaching staff, and also the union. The support we've had from the clubs and the union has been absolutely amazing. And yeah, it's just gone from strength to strength. The players have stepped up. The fact that we've had a big squad, that we had the backup of people just stepping into positions. You know, we've had several big injuries. People that was not in a position to return. So yeah, and we worked with what we had, and I'm extremely grateful for that. And like I said, here we are 10 weeks later entering into a final. I'm ecstatic. It's amazing.
There were a couple of teams there that we kept thinking that was the ultimate derby. When you played against The Bulls lady side, for example, this is the ultimate derby. It's the North-South clash. When you played against Boerland, we thought, well, this is the ultimate derby. It's your neighbours. I mean, there were every match, maybe excluding the Sharks. There was a derby element in it. A lot of, like you say, each team had its own dynamics.
Yes, definitely. And it's amazing how you can experience that the coaching staff of the opponents really did their homework. You know, they would identify I don't want to call it a weakness, but for a lack of a better word, let's call it a weakness. So they knew where they could take us on. And our coaching staff just prepared our team for every single game, because we did the same thing. You know, they did the homework, looked at the dynamics of the opponent every week. And I must say, apart from the Sharks, I mean, the Sharks really this year was a challenge for us. I mean, even if you look at the first game, they were the only team that we played against this season that we had to walk away without a bonus point. They gave us a real good run for our money when we played there in Durban, and when we played them here in the rain on Newlands, the first half it was nail biting.
Yeah.
But as for the North-South derby, you know, the derby against Boerland border, I mean, it's a big thing. And this final is going to be no exception. It's going to be something spectacular. And the thing is, you know, we've won 10 games, which is absolutely fantastic. But when the two teams walk onto that field, the 10 games that's behind us is behind us. Because, you know, any mistake can be vital. We're playing here for the cup. We're playing for a first and a second place. And anything can happen on the day. I mean, the team is going to give their absolute everything. The coaching and conditioning staff is putting in everything that they can. But at the end of the day, our work will be done 5-4 on Friday. And then it's up to the 23 players that's going to participate in the final. But just one thing that I have to add, it's not only the 23 players. There's 46 players that contributed to make this a successful journey so far.
Do you think we're at that space now where women and girls that are out there that are rugby fans are looking at you guys? They're seeing you on TV every week. They're seeing you on the streaming every week. Are we at that space where they're looking at all of you guys and going, that's how they just want to be?
Definitely. Definitely, I think so. I think as a union and as a Western Province senior side, we've really set a very high bar, but also opened up like an invitation to say, you know, this is what we do, this is what we love, there's opportunity. And still, I mean, this is our final game, but we're going to come back again next year. We're going to, hopefully when COVID eases down, you know, the under 16s and the under 18s and the under 20s will also get an opportunity to participate. So if there's any players out there that is keen to play, even if it's junior players, you know, contact the union, contact your club, contact your women's representative at your club, and come and join us. It's really, you know, once you've experienced it, you can try to explain it to someone. But once as a player, I mean, I've experienced it for many years. It's something that's just, yeah, it's magical.
All right, well, let's see if we can have the same conversation again next week with perhaps Coach Lorian as well. We wish you guys the very best of luck for this Friday. We're aware of all of the hard work, the whole squad, all the players. Obviously, we've been following the progress all the way for the past 6 months, and it really has been incredible. So we don't want to put the muckers on anything, so all we say to you guys right now is well done, good luck, and of course, stay safe.
Thank you so much, JP. I really appreciate it. And thank you to you as well for, you know, granting us this platform and this opportunity to open up the door to evolve women's rugby. It's really amazing. And I hope we can chat more often. And then you're going to see new faces and more faces when club rugby starts eventually. So, yeah, thank you so much. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to the conversation next week. Whatever the outcome is going to be, just know that Western Province, our players, our coaching staff is going to give our utmost best to bring back the cup, or not to bring back, to keep the cup here. It would be the 4th consecutive season that we would do that, or hoping to do that. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Nell. Danelle Rousseau, of course, DHL Western Province Rugby team manager, and well, made it to the finals. And we're, of course, going to keep following their progress. It's been really good looking at the success of the women's team. Right, folks, we have been asking you to share your messages of well wishes that we've been putting on the screen, and of course posting that, asking you to put that on our form on Facebook. And so some of the messages that have come in from you so far, Bronwyn Gonzalez Pedro says, in the midst of these dark times, looking for the light, things will get better. God bless. Bronwyn is, of course, from Hands and Hearts Rugby Football Club. Reginald Pfeiffer says, let's keep on communicating to our members. Do not go silent. Silent is the worst answer now. Reginald, of course, from Lamotte Wanderers. And we've got a message in from Anthony Almerson. And Anthony says, COVID-19 is real. To all our members out there, let us all adhere to all protocols. Regards, Chairman. Anthony is, of course, from Retreat Rugby Football Club. So, folks, please keep sharing those messages. We'll keep sharing them with you, the viewer, and, of course, our club structures out there as we do our very best to keep you all connected during these difficult times. Stick around. We'll come back to you when we talk more about club rugby after the break. Welcome back, folks. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. It's, of course, Wednesday night, and we carry on talking about what's happening in the world of club rugby. Many of our clubs out there at the moment remaining busy behind the scenes, of course, having had lots of practice on how to do that, and clubs coming up with creative ways. But, of course, Western Province Rugby also quite busy at the moment. We will be catching up with Faisal Felton from Western Province Rugby a little bit later during the course of the show. But as we know, the under-20s have just returned from their international duties, and they've resumed training at the High Performance Centre. They're getting ready for the Currie Cup. We went behind the scenes to catch up with some of the players.
Ja, ek dink ons is almal maar net dankbaar dat ons hier kan wees of so. Ons weet dat die Superliga is weer afgestel en so. So is maar net lekker om weer hier te kan wees saam met die manne en om net te kan oefen en so. Ja, ons het maar dit was maar moeilik in die begin met die Waarste Cup wat nog aan die gang was. So ons het maar baie keer kan mense oefen, baie keer nie. Baie van ons swat nog, so ons is tussen nog akademiese verpligtinge en so. Maar ja, nou is almal mos nou maar eintlik verby. Dis 'n bietjie vakansie vir die studente, so nou is dit lekker om almal hier te hê, bietjie te kyk wie is en so en net lekker saam te oefen. Ja, nee, ek moet sê die WP doen baie moeite om vir ons wedstryde te kry. Ons het al weekliks gespeel en so. En ja, soos jy weet, dit is maar net 'n lekker gevoel om vir jou op die veld te kom. Ek dink om te begin kyk na hoe die span saam speel en wat ons kan doen en so. En ja, dit maak ons ook maar net opgewonde vir wat voor lê vir die span en vir die toernooi wat kom en so. Ja, so ons begin ons in Augustus die onder 20 Currie-beker. En ja, ons moes in die laaste gespeel nie. Of min van ons was laaste betrokke, was ook nie laaste onder 20, was onder 21 gewees. So dis maar net vir ons almal net 'n great gevoel om te weet. Ons weet of ons glo dit gaan aangaan of so. So dis die eerste ding is maar net great dat dit aangaan en ja, nou is dit maar net lekker. Ons sien nou maar net uit en ons bou op dan toe.
Ja, baie lekker om weer terug te wees. Al die manne weer te sien, bring my net weer 'n smaal op die gesig en excited vir die oefeninge en die tye wat nog voor lê so. Ja, Waarste Cup was baie exciting. Het was nie dieselfde soos gewoonlik nie. Soos jy weet, ons het in 'n bubble gespeel en daar was nie soos fans en al dat nie, maar was nog steeds baie special vir my en ek het dit baie geniet om te speel. Ja, ek moet sê die kompetisie lyk baie sterk maar dit is altyd goed vir 'n span om so baie diepte te hê en ek dink dit is wat die span en die groep gaan sterk maak, baie die diepte wat ons het. Ja, eerste jaar wat ons nou Currie Cup kan speel en ek dink baie van die ouens is baie excited om te speel. Currie Cup is nog steeds onder 20 Currie Cup. Ek dink baie van die ouens se doel is om senior Currie Cup te speel. Maar ek dink dit is 'n goeie stepping stone vir die ouens om by die 20ste te begin.
Ja nee, kyk, ons het laas ek onthou die laaste game wat ek voor Covid gespeel het was 'n koshuis liga game eerste jaar gewees en dit was en toe was dit net af en kon daai tyd wat jy by jou eie op die huis moes geoefen het want jy kon nie by die gyms of enigiets oefen nie, maar ja, dis great om terug te wees op die veld en met die boys is regtig verfrissend. Ja nee, kyk is altyd lekker om hoe meer mense the more the merrier, nee, soos hulle altyd sê, maar dit bring meer kompetisie en is gee jou kans om jou self te vergelyk teen ander ouens ook, maar dis ja, is 'n vriendelike kompetisie, het nog nooit iemand seer gemaak, so ja. Ja nee, kyk, ons het nou die eerste game met ons baie, wat die 7de is, maar dan die 14de het so ons die eerste game tuis teen die Leopards, so ons sien uit daarvoor, vir 'n bietjie regte kompetisie, ek moet sê. Ja, kyk, is baie nice om te weet dis in goeie hande altyd en ons kan regtig ons coaches vertrou vir wat hulle vir ons sê. As hulle vir ons sê, hierso is jy verkeerd, jy moet reg maak, dan kan jy heeltemal vertrou op hulle dat hulle presies weet wat hulle doen. So ja, ons het definitief confidence in hulle.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Boys been waiting. I've been waiting for it, but I've been working hard during this long year of waiting. I'm glad to be back. I'm happy to be back, moving with the boys, hitting some bodies around, competitive kind of stuff. Yeah, it's good to be back. Well, I'm glad to be here because I always wanted the best out of myself. I want to be one of the best rugby player in my position and on the field too. So it's good competition. I like competing against the best and being at provinces. Yeah. I'm really enjoying it here, it's great. Yeah, the boys are looking forward to it. Well, a lot of boys are excited for it. I'm excited for it. Yeah, we're working hard for it. So hopefully I get picked and end up playing there. I'll be very happy with it. No, it's good. It's good. We have some good coaches here. We're learning every practice. Yeah, it's good for the boys, the upcoming South African rugby stars. We'll be playing Springbok one day, and with these coaches, they're doing a very good job and just passing down, seeing those big names, just passing down to the young ones, learning more. It's good for the players. Yeah, some of the games went well, but like I said, because of COVID and that, boys we don't have time to link up and get close together. So the games that we do play, we something comes up and the boys come together and do well. But it's gonna be tough with this COVID thing because you never know what's coming up next. So yeah, but when the boys pitch up, we do well. We come together as a team, and yeah, I just hope if things go well, this COVID thing can cool down a little bit so the boys can start linking up more and getting closer.
Our under 20 players then, of course, excited to be back on the park. Of course, many of them have just returned from their national duties and they now prepare for the under 20 Currie Cup that comes up later in the year. Right, folks, well, as you know, on a weekly basis, we take a look at what's happening at MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, the public reviews, the reviews where you have gone to the store and left your opinion of the actual pharmacy itself. MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, of course, on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. Now, this week's review comes in from Poloko Serrero. Now, Poloko gives MChem a 5-star rating and goes on to say, I've been using this pharmacy for the last 6 months and I must say it's the best pharmacy I have ever come across. Staff is always friendly and very helpful. Runs like a well-oiled machine. I think that's a fantastic rating there from Poloko. A 5-star rating, no less. Of course, those public reviews being done on Facebook and Google and other social media platforms where MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy ask you for your opinion. And of course, as we know, MChem is always aiming for the gold standard. Just a reminder, folks, MCAM is, of course, on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. When you drive down the N1, you can see the pharmacy on the right-hand side with that enormous sign, as you see behind me here, that says, just look for that sign. In fact, there you see the picture behind me. Look for MCAM Pharmacy. It's written big, and, of course, that sign that says MCAM 24-hour pharmacy. The parking is just around the corner, and it's free. Very convenient. We'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll carry on talking about what's happening in the world of club rugby. Back in a sec. Welcome back, folks. Cape Rugby TV. We carry on talking about club rugby, and of course, as you know, difficult times. But nevertheless, our clubs are doing extraordinary things again, continuously, to keep on reaching out to their members, to keep their players active. And I think that's primarily also what we're doing, is trying to make sure that you stay connected. This is our priority, is making sure that the clubs are talking and stay connected. But of course, it was a few months ago that there was an opportunity to play some friendly fixtures. That was, of course, after the COVID pre-season, if you will, training. I've got Terence Blake, the captain of Terence Greef, the captain of Blake's, on the line with me. Terence is back. Terence, how are things there with you, Meneer?
Hi JP, I'm good. I see you got me there as Terence Blakes. I'm just the representative of Blake's Rugby Club.
Yes.
Thank you so much, JP, for having me back. It's always good to talk to you. And yeah, I'm just so grateful that I'm healthy and being able to talk to you, and played 4 friendly matches before the third wave.
Yeah, before we go into everything that you're doing behind the scenes, because we know that Blake's is very active, that you guys have been involved. Before we get into that, it's now been a few months since we last spoke to you, but that was the big thing in the beginning of the year, or a few months ago, the opportunity for you guys to train again together, to see each other on the field, even though we know in the first 4 weeks you were only allowed to do non-contact isolated training. But how was that? How was that to get everybody back on the park?
Yo, JP, to start off, to get back on the park, it was challenging to get the boys there, first of all. Like, it's been a whole year, we haven't trained together, even though we were busy working out on our own. But yo, Coach Wayne, really, he nailed us when we got back there. We were running non-stop because of, his excuse was just, we can't have contact, boys, so go, you need to go. But it was good to have the players there. Like, some of the guys were really struggling. Some of the guys looked different when we got back to the park, like picked up a lot of weight,
But that in itself must have been something unique. The fact that for at least those few hours, you had to take your mind off the terrible things that are going around you. For those few hours, you had to concentrate on the field and putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, and it was really nice. We had a lot of fun, and you could see the eagerness in the boys to get back on the field. Like the every night we had more boys on the field, because we were very active and posting stuff like every training season. Whether the guys were tired and sweaty, we posted it. So just to get the other boys there on the training ground.
And then, Terence, of course, after that, you guys had a couple of fixtures, friendly fixtures, when you were eventually allowed to do that. How did that go?
We played 4 friendly matches, and I think our mindset and our goal was to achieve big things. And all our friendlies was against Super League teams. Our first one was against Franschhoek, and we unfortunately lost there with a 10-point margin. And Franschhoek is a super league team, but we played very well against them. I'm very proud of the boys on that match, because it was our first match. A lot of new combinations was tried by Coach Wayne, our new recruits, like playing boys in their position, but haven't played for Blakes before. And it went really well. Franschhoek had a big pack of forwards. As you know, they're 2 props, and they were playing rolling subs. Even their captain afterwards said, like, there were a few moments in the game where he thought they were going to lose the game against us, and he had to come back on himself to help his boys just seal the game. Yeah. Wow. And our second friendly was Kylemore. We lost there also with a 8-point margin. It was 21. Blakes, Kylemore had 29 points off the board, and it was, I think Rens covered that game. Renzel,
Yeah, we did
yeah,
have
it was
that on the
raining
show, yeah.
cats and dogs on that day.
Terence, behind the
And
scenes, of course, things remain difficult for all club structures. Things haven't been easy. We know that when the COVID period was so active last year, and that there was no activities, that Blake's was reaching out to the players, to the community. You guys were doing some fantastic outreach projects.
yeah,
And in addition, you've been building an administrative components behind the scenes.
yeah, JP. Unfortunately, we couldn't be that active anymore in our community because of the COVID third wave. It really got everybody scared, and we just trying. Our top of mind for us is to protect our players and our safety. We had a few fundraisers where our players bought food from the stuff that the club provided and had available, and then we contributed to either a family member or someone in the community. And we started. Firstly, I want to thank Western Province Club Rugby because of the course that the media marketing sponsorship course that we did, because we as Blake's Rugby Club have implemented a lot of the things that we've learned there. So we're very active on Facebook now. We started our hashtag Get to Know Your Player campaign. We have player profiles, sharing more about the player himself, nicknames, previous clubs, stuff like that, which is very important. And we have a inspirational quotes every day where we inspire our supporters, our players, family members, just to stay positive during this challenging time. So yeah,
I'm getting quite emotional listening to you. Just to know that you guys are so active behind the scenes, looking after everybody under these difficult conditions, and of course all the work that you guys are doing behind the scenes to keep people connected. What's the quote for today, Terence? Is there a quote today, or give us one of the quotes from yesterday?
okay. Today's quote is not out yet. They've normally posted around about 12 o'clock. But one of the quotes of yesterday, I think, was impossible is nothing. And as a team and a community club, together we can achieve more. So if we stand together, then nothing seems to be impossible for us. If we stand together, united as a community club, first of all, we have our supporters, our players, family members, I think, and as a country also, with everything going on, I think it's time for us to stand together and just strive to be better every day.
Absolutely, those are strong words. Those are positive. How do you decide? How do you guys decide during the week what the quote is? Do you have a little WhatsApp group? Do you guys get together and share a few options?
Our management team have a WhatsApp group where they discuss what quote would be best, depending on also, we've lost a lot of people because of COVID. Old boys, we've lost one of our players. We recently, we just want to say condolences to the family, which is my family, of Peter Adams. We lost the chairman. He was very involved with VP as well as Langa, and that's how we decide what quotes would be best to celebrate a person, to motivate a family or a supporter who has a loss of a family member or someone. So that's how the management team decide on which quotes it's best on the day.
Yeah, difficult times, but again, fantastic to see what you guys are doing behind the scenes. Hopefully we all beat this thing together. We love that quote, nothing is impossible. And of course, Terence will say to you and everybody else out there, stay safe, keep looking after each other. We'll keep following the progress. We'll keep trying to keep everybody as connected as possible, but we know with the hard work that you guys are doing behind the scenes, we know that that we're all in good hands.
Thank you, JP, and all the best to you and your team as well. Stay safe and keep up the good work. JP, just one last thing. I promised our kid manager, it's his birthday today, Richie Noble. I'm going to send a shout out to him. All the best on your birthday. May God bless you and enjoy your day. Keep safe, and God bless all of you.
Birthday wishes going out there as well. That's fantastic. That's of course those are of course the kind of messages that everybody needs to hear at the moment. Congratulations and happy birthday and well wishes. All these positive messages. Thanks, Terence. We'll catch up again soon.
Thank you, JP.
There we go, folks. Terence Krief, the captain of Blake's Rugby Football Club. Their quote today is yesterday their quote was #nothing is impossible. Fantastic to see the initiatives that Blake's are coming up with to keep their players connected, to keep their players active behind the scenes, and wherever possible reaching out and helping the community under these very difficult times. Welcome back, folks. Cape Rugby TV. We carry on talking about what's happening in the world of club rugby. And, of course, as you know, we keep talking to the clubs about what it is that they're busy with behind the scenes. Well, it was a few weeks ago, should we say now, maybe a few months ago now, that there were clubs that were busy playing a couple of derby matches. They managed to get the players back on the park. And we're slowly doing the circles where we are going club to club and finding out a little bit about how those 4-week period, as well as of course some of the friendly fixtures went. Phil Cronje, who is of course head coach at Hamilton's Rugby Football Clubs, joins me now. Phil, nice to have you back. Haven't seen you on the show for a while.
Yeah, well, JP, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I suppose it's winter now. The weather has changed, and we understand, of course, the current challenges in South Africa, globally, and together we're all just one day at a time. But Phil, let's focus on you.
Yeah, it's been a while, Jake. Yes, it's crazy, man. At the moment, not sure what's happening out there. I'm talking club rugby-wise. We're just going on. It's tough at the moment, I must be quite honest with you. Players are really negative at the moment, but yeah, let's see how we can turn that around.
Yeah, of course, it is difficult for all athletes at the moment. We know that everybody wants to be doing some form of exercise and wants to be competitive. But Phil, let's go back a few months since we last spoke to you. There was a time that you were busy preparing for your first 4-week phase, where of course you started off with a 4-week phase and then another 4-week phase before you were allowed to play friendlies. How did that go for you, getting the players back on the park?
Yeah, it was tough, JP. Talking about senior players or players older than 18, 19, 20 years old, to tell them you can't touch the ball for that first 4 weeks was quite tough. But we had to follow protocols. We've done that. We worked a lot on the first 4 weeks. We worked a lot on conditioning because there wasn't rugby for such a long time. Then the second 4 weeks session, brought some ball in, hit some couple of bags. But yeah, let's call these guys semi-professional rugby players because they practice rugby, let's call it 3 days a week. It was tough on the body. For a guy that haven't played rugby for a year and a half, it was tough. Obviously, then we moved over to the friendlies. We had a couple of friendlies. It went okay. A couple of heavy scores that we put on the scoreboard, a couple of tough games, especially one against False Bay, the ones that you really want to test yourself against, that didn't go our way. But we learn from these things. The scary part for me about this whole thing was, and I had a chat with all the coaches after the games, you average about between 4 and 7 injuries a game. I'm not talking about serious injuries. I'm talking about quads and calves and hammies and stuff like that. So that's a concern for me going forward, to see what's the outcome of not playing rugby for 2 years. I mean, some of those senior guys that played at a high level, after a game they will tell me, you know what, coach, making 2 tackles felt like you played 2 games in a row. So I think it will be tough on the bodies. I need to do some more homework. We're busy looking into those things. I think it will be tough going forward for a guy that not consistently making, I'm talking about rugby contact, not on the shields and make tackles here and there. I'm talking about match fitness. Those are the things that probably going to count against us going forward.
The players, they must have been excited though to put their boots on and get on the field.
JP, it was really excited. I mean, that first game that we played, the first friendly that we played, people, it was so excited. The bad part is, we take such a lot of things for granted. Now you start understanding what a changing room means to you. Where the camaraderie starts in that changing room, the guy that's hitting his head against the wall or going to a toilet 5 minutes before the game, whatever the case may be, those things definitely been missed. And I think at the end of the day, is just to be back on the field to play those couple of games was really excited. Yeah, the guys was over the moon about it. And yeah, let's see what's happening. I'm not too sure it's the way forward. We're all waiting on those info to come through from SA Rugby, or let's call it from the government side.
Phil, one of the positive things that we're seeing from Hamilton's Rugby Football Club is how the players are getting behind supporting each other, how the players are now, and we got some messages, we've seen the posts on Facebook, your players are making little videos and communicating with each other and sending out positive messages of support. I mean, that's really great from a team perspective.
Yeah, we try to interact with the players and we try to keep everybody motivated and say, you know what, this is what I'm doing through this difficult times, or this is what I'm doing at home. Some of these guys play on the PlayStation, or some of these guys, whatever they do. But I must be honest with you, JP, you know what, the last 2 years, the first time when they stopped us was still okay because we were exciting. There's a second, let's call it a second round that will start again and say, yes, let's get back into it. But when they closed us for the third time, I could see that there's a bit of a negativity going on. I just think the players, let's call it they're over it, but I think it's because they miss the game so much and they miss each other's company that much. And I think that's where and why at the moment it's a real negative thing out there. So that's why we try to keep these guys motivated to do special things like social media. Sometimes we have Zoom calls and we chat to each other just for fun of it, to be part of it. But yeah, at the moment, it's tough to keep these guys happy.
Well, we're happy to see that behind the scenes, you've got some administrators that are doing quite a lot of hard work to keep them connected, and that's of course great news. Phil, we'll leave it at that. We wait and see if there's future announcements. But in the meantime, of course, we say to you and the team out there, stay safe, and hopefully we'll catch up again soon.
Yeah, thanks, JP. Thanks for your time. Yeah, keep safe. I mean, the next 2 or 3 weeks will be tough, but yeah, if everybody can follow all protocols, I think we all should be fine.
Thanks, Phil. There we go, folks. Phil Cronje, head coach of Hamilton's Rugby Football Club. We'll keep following the progress of our clubs out there. Difficult times indeed. Right, folks, of course, as you know, we've been reaching out to you to share your messages of well wishes and support. And we thought we would show you some of the messages that you've been sending in to us. Our first message comes in from Nolene, who says, stay fit, stay home, and stay safe at Unimill Rugby Football Club. We got a message from Leona Osborne, says, may God be our strength through this difficult time, and may he cover and protect us all against the pandemic. Stay safe, stay home. Leona Osborne there from Rocklands Rugby Football Club. Eitner Tritter says, we wish all within our rugby fraternity who is currently directly or indirectly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic all the best with their day-to-day challenges. Please stay safe and act responsibly. For those who have lost loved ones, you are in our prayers. Eitner's, of course, from Goodwood Rugby Football Club. And Renzel Botman, our very own Renzel Botman, says to everyone, please be safe out there. Make sure to keep the protocols to keep you, your family, and everyone around you safe. Be blessed. Renzel, of course, from Hands and Hearts Rugby Football Club. And Leandra Mexon says, use this structure time to rest, restructure, and rebrand. Get ready to level up. Leandra, of course, from Rocklands Rugby Football Club. And folks, we will, of course, continue to share your messages of well wishes and support. Of course, on a weekly basis, we give you an opportunity to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks, all right? Score energy drinks up for grab. Of course, Score is on board with Western Province Rugby and the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. So if you want to stand a chance to win a case of Score energy drinks, you need to go to our Facebook page. Of course, and by the way, this is the other can. This is the passion fruit, the Score passion fruit. I'm just showing you the original version at the moment. But yeah, so Score energy drinks, a whole case is up for grabs. Score energy drinks together with a case of Bashu's cool drinks. And of course, don't forget you can win yourself a set of masks courtesy of a Cape Rugby TV mask courtesy of CTC Sports. So if you want to win this triple hamper, the Score energy drinks and of course the case of Bashu's cool drinks and the masks, then all you need to do is go to our Facebook page. Now for the last few weeks we've been running this Score energy drink competition on our Facebook page and asking you various questions from the 2019 league. Now we're moving slightly differently. See if do you know your club? So we're choosing clubs and the various logos and modifying them slightly so that you don't see the club name in them. And of course, can you then guess the logo? And it's a fantastic way for you to know the other club structures and to see if you know your club rugby. And of course, this past week, it was the logo of False Bay that we put out there and asked you, do you recognize the logo? Now, of course, we're choosing these logos randomly, the club logos. And we see, do you recognize the logo? Congratulations to last week's winner, Elton Jones, who managed to successfully recognize the logo and name the club. And of course, False Bay Rugby Football Club. So congratulations, Elton. You walk away with your case of Score energy drinks, your case of Bashu's, as well as your set of Cape Rugby TV masks. We'll be in touch with you on Facebook Messenger so that you can collect your case. We'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll carry on talking about club rugby. Back in a sec. Welcome back, folks. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. And if you've just joined us, you will know that we've been asking our viewers and supporters to share their messages of well wishes and their thoughts during these difficult times. Of course, very difficult for everybody out there during COVID, but the message of support and well wishes coming in. We've shown you some of the messages already during the show today. Let's take a look at some more of the messages that have come in from our friends and the folks that are out there. The first one we're looking at now is, of course, from Alfonso September, and he says, together we can and will win this fight against COVID. Alfonso from Blake's Rugby Football Club. Thanks, Alfonso. Labib Levy, our very own Labib Levy from the DHL Stormers and DHL Western Province Rugby Currie Cup squad, says, good luck to all fighting. It's like a rugby game. Prepare well by taking your medication, wearing a mask, social distance, sharing quality information with others, showing support to those who have had losses and victories. This time will pass, and all praise to the Creator. Sammy Malatsi says, in moments like these, our purposes and values matter a lot to the people and rugby community we serve. Stay safe. We will overcome this pandemic. Sammy's, of course, from Western Province Rugby. Muhammad Adams says, Hamadia's Rugby Football Club wishes to send their condolences to those who experience loss as a result of COVID-19. Muhammad's, of course, from Hamadia's Rugby Football Club. Marlies van der Westhuizen says, we're all in this together. Mask up, stay home, and let's beat this wave together. Marlies from NTK Rugby Football Club. And Kurt Lewis says, this is trying times for all of us, but we will get through this together. Keep praying and wear your mask. Kurt from Young Gardens. And Charlene Thompson sent in a message saying, let's adhere to all the presidents, please, so when we all meet again, no one is missing. Protocol guy. And Charlene is, of course, from Eerste Rivier Rugby Football Club. Folks, those are, of course, some of the messages that have been sent in to us. And you can also go to our Facebook page. There's a link there that you can send in your messages of well-being and support, well wishes and support for everybody out there. It's a great way to stay connected and let everybody know that you're thinking about them. On the line with me now, Faisal Felton from Western Province Rugby. Faisal, welcome back.
Hi, good evening, JP. It's good to be back. Yeah, looking forward to it. As you can see, I'm here at Cape Town Stadium, and yeah, looking forward to tonight.
So we know that you guys are under a lot of pressure. Time is a factor, so we're not going to keep you very long. And of course, we all know that this is pre-record. Faisal, of course, you're at the Cape Town Stadium now. This is part of you guys in terms of Western Province Rugby and preparing for tonight. Still a lot of work behind the scenes.
No, definitely. Obviously tonight, one of the first matches now at Cape Town Stadium. Definitely from our side, looking forward to it. The last time was 12 years ago, so from my side, was 12 years younger, a little bit older, and hopefully, looking forward to make the next one. But I think it's always it's a good experience, and also, being here at Cape Town Stadium. And being part of it and that is great. And I always say it's always a learning experience, and trying to take in and gather and learn as much as possible as well.
So from an office perspective or from a Western Province perspective, does this mean you guys have to be on the side of the field? You've got to help with the COVID compliance elements. There are a lot of logistics going on.
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously the game has been managed and run by SA Rugby. Obviously with the Lions and that. COVID has had an impact in terms of the logistics and the arrangements. Normally, from our side, we'll be quite actively involved. But due to COVID, there's only a number of us that's actively involved in that. So basically, there's a team that travels around, the country that's part of the, with the Lions and that there. So in Cape Town, there's just a handful of us that's actually working and part of it.
Right. Faisal, let's quickly go to the club side. Of course, from a Western Province point of view, we see that there's an activity calendar now from Western Province Rugby where you are on a weekly basis working with the clubs. And this is rolling out for a while now. Last week, you did the leadership rejuvenation and growth workshop. And then this past week on the Monday, you hosted another workshop on club executive structures and the administrative side around the club structures. Is this activity plan part of the process for clubs to keep them engaged?
No, definitely, JP. It's something that, I would say is long overdue, but it's definitely something that assists and help the clubs. And I think from our side, from the officer side, we try and ensure how we can assist and where we can assist. And I think, the leadership and the club structure courses that we had definitely adds value. And I think the feedback that we receive has been great, and it's been sort of requested by some of the clubs in terms of some of the workshops that they would like us to host. So it definitely adds value. And, from us, from the office, and I think from Western Province's side, whatever's going to help the clubs and how we can assist in terms of management. And I think the great thing now at the moment is, the attendance has been awesome. It's good to see that all the clubs coming out, and it's good to see, virtual meetings, virtual workshops is definitely something that is a positive from COVID and that there. So it's something that we're looking forward to going forward. It's something that will be happening on a weekly basis. Whilst there's no rugby, as you said, we will be continuing our workshops, even post the season, there will be stuff happening.
Next week, you have a meeting. I understand one of your next presentations is around some more basic elements, like, for example, how do you present a meeting? How do you plan for a meeting? Who should be involved in the meeting, in the administration, around something as basic, what we would think is a very basic thing to put a meeting on. But these things are, of course, very important from an organizational point of view.
No, definitely. One of the things is, when it comes to clubs, the focus is primarily on playing the game and on the field, and everybody is just about playing. So I think this is one of the opportunities which we are taking with both hands in terms of trying to see how we can assist and help. And, stuff that we take for granted, as you said, in terms of managing and running meetings is something that, a lot of the clubs, we're finding that, the understanding, because it's, clubs are run by people that have jobs, they're volunteers. So the small aspects in terms of running meetings, having the leadership course, I think it's vital, and it plays a key role in terms of trying to, grow the club, as a whole.
Faisal, but you're not only focusing on the administrative side, you're also focusing a little bit on the fun element, different ways to keep the clubs connected. And we see on the activity, one of your plans is to have a quiz, a club quiz, where your members of your structure can have a trivia.
Yeah, no, definitely, JP. I think it's about thinking out of the box, and I think this is the type of engagement that we want to have, that we would like clubs to have. And I think the idea is how do you engage, with your members? Whilst we don't have rugby, as I said earlier on, the focus is always on playing the game. But I think the key now at the moment is how do we engage with your members and that. So we've got to think out of the box. And I think from the office, from the union side, it's, trying to come up with these fun ways of engaging. And I think, this is the type of thing that we would like the clubs to also think about in terms of how you can engage with your members.
I can't wait, Faisal. I think that's going to be super exciting. I think sports quizzes everybody loves a good sport quiz, and especially when we can ask those funny questions about club rugby. Who remembers what and who can identify a logo? It's right in the passion space of what club rugby is all about. Faisal, we know that you have to go. We can see that you are at the Cape Town Stadium there. We, of course, are holding big thumbs for tonight, and we will hopefully catch up again soon.
No, definitely, JP, and thanks a lot. And yeah, hopefully we'll chat again soon.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
There we go, folks. Faisal Felton, Western Province Rugby, and the administrative courses are rolling out, the activities are rolling out. Looking forward to that sports quiz, that club rugby sports quiz. So we'll, of course, keep you up to date about that, because that's going to be very exciting, where you can test your club rugby knowledge. Are you on track with your own club rugby knowledge? Right, folks, that is a wrap from us this evening. We will just tell you one more time, not one more time, we will keep telling you, we will keep reminding you to please remember to practice the health and safety protocols. You absolutely need to make sure that social distancing is always happening. Wash your hands as often as possible, and remember, please always wear that mask. It is not a request, it's a legal obligation. You must always wear a mask in public. And when you do wear this mask, please remember to wear it in the correct fashion. The mask must cover your mouth and your nose. So wear the mask over your face in the correct manner. And don't be shy to tell other people to also put their mask on. We say to you and everybody else that is out there tonight, please stay safe, and we'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.